Mike Angelino Sports. What a fight, man. Controversy. What the hell happened? Hey, man, I called it. My boy Bud Crawford did what he had to do. But I got my cousin Jay and my cousin Andrew giving us feedback what happened. I knew this was coming. I believe that the stoppage, the father knew that, hey, man, it was the beginning of the end. And my boy Crawford was going to finish him. So let me hear what they say, what they saw, and then we'll break it down. So, Jay, what happened, man? Was it a good fight or easy work? What happened, man?
No, it was definitely a good fight. Me and you are gonna definitely argue about how the ending went, but it was a good competitive fight. I think what we all expected. I wanted a little bit more from each fighter, a little bit more action packed. I thought Crawford, like you said, was gonna do more when it came to counter punching, and we did see that in the last round or two. But yeah, it was competitive. You could have had it 5-4 either way, either with Porter or Crawford. But that round 9, that's where you kind of saw the momentum kind of turn when Crawford was starting to take over, even though it was still a competitive fight. But you started seeing the signals, right? Landing the body shots. He was kind of controlling the distance more, and he got comfortable. And then it carried over to round 10, where he got that early knockdown, and then it was just the beginning of the end from there. Even though I really do disagree with the stoppage, and we're arguing about it as soon as it happened, I was still kind of tripping out about it. But no, I mean, Crawford, he did what he had to do. He did, he got the victory at the end, but I just wish I could have got a little bit more from him and Porter too. But it was a good fight.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, no one has ever stopped Porter. They dropped Porter. Spence dropped him, but no one has ever dropped him twice. And like I said, I think the father knew that the end was coming, man. And then the dad was saying that he wasn't training, that he didn't train right. Andrew, you tell me how you seen Porter. Did you see any flaws that you say that it gave you the indication that he didn't train? Did you see him fight good, or you seen like, what? It's not the Porter that we've seen before.
I thought initially he was in good condition. Started off the fight well, pushing the pace, switching kind of styles, pushing the pace at first, and then trying to outbox him in a couple of rounds. Try to get those first couple, kind of get locked in those first rounds. To get on the score sheet. But I think Terrence Crawford just started figuring him out. Like Jay said, 9th round was kind of like the turning point with that uppercut. He caught him with that uppercut. Porter was moving in a little bit recklessly. You were stating in the fight he was moving in a little bit too comfortably, not putting his hands up at certain times. I think Crawford was going to pick him out. I think Porter could have kept going. I don't know. His dad maybe was giving him that excuse to that he's not in condition as well, so maybe he can get a second fight with him. That's what I was thinking. But I thought Porter could have kept going. He could have fought on his shield. But you're right. The dad knew what was coming. He was going to get knocked the fuck out, whether it was that round or it was going to happen inevitably. But it was a good fight.
Yeah.
Both men. But Jay was right. There was more from that fight. There was more for the fans to see it, I think. But hey, man, dad's got to do.
Yeah, something. Yeah. This is the best. This is one of the best I've seen Porter. He hit Crawford with some solid shots, and he was making Crawford think, man. It did become a chess match, which I believe that if it did become a chess match, the Crawford had the upper hand because he is a counterpuncher, he is a technician, he is a chess player. Anything you've seen, Jay, that tells you, gives you an indication, like I asked Andrew, was he training? Was he unfocused? All through training camp, everything seemed well, man. What do you think? Why did the dad say that? That's kind of whack, dog.
Yeah, I mean, as a father, like, it's easy for us to be on the outside looking in and be like, oh, it was early stoppage. Like, at the end of the day, that is his fault. That is his son fighting. He did see him get dropped 2 times, even though he wasn't badly hurt. Like, he wasn't stumbling or he didn't look out of it. It was weird because Porter was just like hitting the ground with his gloves and all that, just frustrated, right? Because he got caught with that little it was like a mix of a check hook, like little uppercut. And that's even before that happened, like before the fight, that's what we're saying. Like, if Porter's gonna get caught, it's gonna be either caught with a little check hook coming in, and then Crawford's gonna kind of counter him, or it's gonna be, you know, something big. But I mean, that whole he wasn't training how I wanted him, I wanted him to train excuse. It was just kind of weird. Like the vibe was kind of off. Just because it was a competitive fight, right? I could have seen that excuse if maybe, you know, Porter was getting dominated every round and he looked out of it. But his conditioning looked there. I mean, he was competing, dude. Like it was a close fight. That's why I was kind of tripping out when he said that. Like I said, some people had Crawford. I know the official card they were talking about it after. Every two of the judges had Crawford up 5-4 in terms to rounds, and then one judge had it like a round more, 6-3. But yeah, I mean, I'm not buying that excuse. It could have just been a heat of the moment type of thing, or like maybe egos were clashing. But nah, dude, it was a competitive fight. I wanted to see more. Like maybe I wanted to see Porter, you know, kind of go out on his shield and see what would happen next. Cause like I said, he wasn't hurt to the point where like, you know, like, oh, okay, he's gonna get knocked the hell out right now type of thing. You know, like he still had his legs, he still had his wits about him. You could easily make the case, like you were saying, that the end was coming, but like it's one of those things where we have to see it and like let Crawford kind of get his moment.
Yeah.
But like overall, like Crawford did what he had to do. You were bragging before the fight that he was the top welterweight easily and that he was like top 3 pound for pound. Yeah, he is, but I wasn't blown away by his performance today. Yeah, so I mean, it was a good fight. Like I said, I wish I could have seen a little bit more from both fighters, but Porter did what he usually does, tries to come forward. And like those last couple of rounds, he was kind of confused. Like he got stuck, right? Because he didn't know what to do at a certain point. Because I guess Crawford was starting to slowly figure him out. But nah, man, Crawford did what he had to do. So I mean, credit to him. Yeah, he's number 2 pound for pound. Number 3, he's up there. So yeah, it was a good fight.
Yeah, I got Bud Crawford number 3. I got I don't want to call it a pound for pound list because heavyweights aren't pound for pound. I don't think so because they're heavyweights. There's nowhere to go unless they lose weight and you go to whatever, cruiserweight, whatever, or the new division. I forgot the name of the bruiser. But I got Canelo pound for pound number uno, the face of boxing, the uno, you know what I'm saying? Number 2, I got Tyson Fury. Then I got Crawford. Then we'll go Usyk. And then after that, wherever the chips fall, I don't know. Well, we could break that down even more. But like I said, man, Crawford could fight backwards, and that's one thing that Porter does to fighters, man, and that versus Spence. Spence can't fight going backwards, dude. The only guy that I think that could match that's similar to Crawford is Ugas, dude. Ugas can bang. Ugas has boxing. He's a Cuban, you know, the Cuban pedigree. He can go backwards. He has IQ. He has rope game. Boom, he has in the rope. Boom, he spins you around. That's one fight that I want to see, dude. To make, I got for welterweight, I got Crawford number 1, Ugas number 2, number 3, Spence, which I don't know, either Spence, and then I got the kid Virgil Ortiz. I don't know why. There's something I see. There's something about him, but he's right now he's still green. So I'm gonna give it to Spence, then my boy Virgil Ortiz. So Andrew, where does, from what you've seen in this fight, and you compare Porter versus Spence, Porter versus, what have you seen him get dominated like this before? Versus Spence versus Thurman.
Gave Spence trouble going back. You know, Crawford's a technician, like you said, man. He's gonna going backward, going forwards. He's gonna know how to counter you. He's gonna counter. He's gonna find the shot, whether it's gonna take a few rounds or not. You know, he showed his level that he's a step above all these other guys. He's showing that. Jay's right though. There's more that he could have done. I think that they took away his moment where he could have knocked out Porter and he could have really set some status, you know, really shined in the light. But man, he's a killer, man. He can finish.
Yeah.
See,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna real quick, bro. See, that's what, like, you could still make that argument at welterweight. Like, yeah, I do have Crawford the best welterweight in the world right now, but it's still a debate, dude. Like, like that's why I want to disagree with you, Mike, because I don't think he was dominating.
No,
It was a
no,
competitive fight, and like I said, like the 8th, 9th round, Crawford started getting real comfortable. It looked like he had figured out Porter. He was landing those little body shots like you were throwing out there. And then the 10th round, he caught him early, but it was still a competitive fight. That's why I'm kind of I have beef with that early stoppage, just because like we could like Porter wasn't out, you know,
yeah,
like he was
no,
still
no.
in. You could easily say, yeah, you know, that it was the beginning of the end, which is fine. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I still have to see it. I mean, boxing, we've seen crazier stuff happen. You know, Corrales Castillo won. Everyone thought Corrales was out of it. He was spitting his mouthpiece out. Everyone thought he was done, and look what happened. So crazier things in boxing have happened. Um, like I said, I agree with you. The top welterweight in the world is Terrence Crawford, but you could still say it's debate. Like you could throw Errol Spence in there. Ugas, Spence, and Crawford are the top three, with you know the young Virgil Ortiz is coming up. But like to say that he dominated, or you know he looked like he took that step above everyone else at the welterweight division, you could still make an argument for Spence too.
Let me guys ask you guys something. Is it looking now that Terrence Crawford is having like a switch gene? Like you see that Canelo Alvarez sometimes in the beginning of fights is not looking like he's dominating. You know, some people they're landing on them jabs, but it's like it's kind of unaffected to him, you know, because he knows he could switch it. Do you think Terrence Crawford has like that switch factor now in him? Has he proven that? Because, you know, we see Porter coming up in a few rounds. For me, I thought it was 3-1 coming in. You know, I thought Porter was pushing the pace well. You think after you got hit with the right hand, I think round 5, it was Porter got him with a nice right hand, straight right hand. You think, you know, he thought that it was time to flip the switch and start breaking in these rounds? Does he have a switch factor to him?
Yeah. Like I said, he's a technician. Hey man, after Canelo, man, he's one of the top up there with that he has an IQ. Like Canelo, they collect data. They're working. They're putting pressure in, and they don't. It looks like they're losing. They're blocking shots. Remember, Jay, you talked about it. Blocking shots, getting you tired mentally and physically. Is he like Canelo? No, man. Canelo has better defense. Some shots went on Terrence Crawford. He got hit with some clean shots, and it looked like he got wobbled a little bit. But like I said, he's collecting data, and he could be losing the rounds, but. The after the 7th, the 8th, he starts stepping on the gas little by little, and he takes over and he counters you. He has one of the best IQs in the game, and that's what Canelo too. He's a slow starter per se, but it's not a slow start. He's collecting data. He's setting up landmines, putting traps, fakes, checking for tendencies. But Canelo's the best in that. After that, I have Tyson Fury. I have Crawford number 3. Yeah.
I got Crawford number 2. I got Canelo number 1, Crawford 2. I got Usyk, Fury number 3, Usyk 4, and then number 5 is a toss-up. It's a toss-up, honestly. But
Jay, I have a question for you, Jay. Like you said, you're still questioning if he's the top dog at 147. What does it need to do to become the top dog at 147? Because you said there's other guys. There's the Ugases. There's the Spence. I think he needs to clean the division ASAP. Rocky, ASAP. 11 months. How about that? I'm going to give him 11 months to clean the division. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, dude. I mean, like I said, for me, in my opinion, he is the top guy at 147. But like I said, you could still tell that argument now, right? And then at this point, like I don't want to sound like that hater, but right now we're nitpicking, right? Because we're talking about pound for pound, who's the best. So like when you're talking about those type of arguments, you have to kind of decide, like when it's close like that, you got to look at the little things. And then one of the things too that like I felt that like why Crawford is still number 2 or 3 pound for pound and not ahead Canelo yet, it's just because performance-wise, like the eye test, everyone was talking about that, like even the post-fight. The eye test. Crawford could do this over Canelo, or like when it comes to that, he's a perfect 10. Yeah, but he's not a perfect 10 when it comes to the inside game. Because I saw a lot of holding tonight, and that was kind of like the thing that stuck out. Yeah, Porter is one of those guys where like he kind of smothers you, and he's gonna put that like relentless pressure, put his body weight on you, do those type of things. But when we're talking about the top pound for pound. That's the stuff that we have to look at. And there's ways around that, right? Like we've seen Canelo do it, push off the upper, work the body, get in the pocket, put in body work. And that's why I feel like he's still number 2 or 3. And then like you said too, Canelo, like whether you want to say that, oh, he wasn't fighting A+ fighters, oh, well, he was, this guy had this, or Billy Joe Saunders, who's Billy Joe Saunders, either way, dude, he ran through that division within a year, 11 months, like you just said, cleaned them out. And he became undisputed, right? You could say, well, yeah, well, Earl Spence is ranked higher than those guys, than any of those guys Canelo beat. All right, then, well, let's see them fight and let's see them freaking get it on. I want Crawford to pull it out. But like I said, like Canelo dominated that division, dude. He broke a dude's face. Like Saunders might retire, we might never see him again. Those are the type of performances that like count when you're talking about the top pound for pound type of guy. But yeah, dude, I like I said, like I don't want to sound like a hater because Crawford did what he had to do. In my opinion, he's the best welterweight in the world right now. It's still debatable. You can still make an argument, but I think he's my number 1 guy. And yeah, like they posted on Twitter, PBC, that Spence Crawford teaser, and it might happen next now, right? Because Crawford got his big pay-per-view fight. He was on the spotlight today and he delivered. So that fight might, when it comes to money and all that, it's a bigger fight now. So they may be down to do it. And then, like I said, I think Crawford's pretty much a free agent now. I think he's out of Top Rank. So it's easier to make that fight happen, right? Because he could just go straight with PBC and do it like what Canelo's doing, a free agent going, bouncing around networks and all that. So if Crawford fights Spence next and then, not dominates, but like beats him convincingly or knocks him out, then we're having that conversation. Like, all right, I was probably still having a number 2, but it's close, And then if he beats Ugas and gets that time, like, all right, now we got a real debate in our hands, And depending what Canelo does next, but yeah, dude, like I said, I wanted to see a little bit more from Crawford today, just because like when it came to scales, I am high on him. Is he a perfect 10 overall? No, just because, like I said, the inside game, but everything else he has. So, I mean, he's up there, dude. So, like I said, he's a bad dude. So, we'll see.
Yeah. Just real quick on the stoppage. I was talking to H, one of my boys, and he said that give him a fighting chance to go out on his shield and this and that. I understand that, but I was telling him it was the beginning of the end. I seen it from the prior round. The 9th round, he was already chopping him down, and I seen it. And this guy looked like he was already like a mouse trapped in the corner. Like, no, dude, he was chopping him down. He doesn't have the power to change the game. Like, what was he gonna do to come back, bang with Crawford? He didn't want to bang no more. He was already thinking with Crawford. He was trying to box Crawford and counter Crawford, and it was the beginning of the end. I don't think he had a puncher's chance to come back. It was and I think that's what the dad, he knew that, and that's what their dad stopped it. Like, no, there's nothing else he's gonna do, man. He's already cornered. I'm gonna stop it, give him another chance to survive, and maybe he'll get another shot or rematches with the other guys that he had close fights. You know what I mean? So I give Crawford. I don't want to take nothing away from Crawford. It's not his fault that the father threw in the towel. Crawford did what he had to do. It took him a little bit to figure out, because it's hard to figure out Porter, man. This guy boxes and he can bang, and he gives you different angles and he gives you shots that he's a little awkward. So I don't want to take nothing away from Crawford. Hell of a performance. The dad stopped it a little prematurely, but I understand why. He understands his son. He understands, and I see it too. But Crawford needs to clean out that division, man. Clean out that division. There's Ugas. There's Spence. He needs to beat those guys, dude, and make it look easy work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the fight everyone wants to see, right? Spence versus Crawford, to see who that real, top guy at 147 is. We'll see how much of Spence is left, especially after that car accident. Then he had like that eye retina surgery and all that. So hopefully, he's not too banged up, or like, he's not damaged goods. But Yeah, dude. I mean, Crawford did what he had to do, like you said. Wasn't a spectacular performance. I'm gonna keep saying this, bro. I wish I could have seen a little bit more, but like you said, like you gotta give credit to Porter too. You know, he's a top welterweight.
Yeah.
He definitely, did his things. I mean, he's a fighter. Like he's game. So, and it's hard to figure like those guys out, like you said. Just like the whole holding factor. I mean, I didn't like what Crawford was gonna do in those little tactics where slapped them on, not slapped them, but like kind of pushed them behind the head, kind of talking smack. Like for me, that was like, oh, did you really need to do that? I know he's a competitor. It was a big fight, so you get it. You get caught up in the fight, right? Stuff like that. Emotions run high, but yeah, dude, you could say he finished. Was Porter dazed and super hurt, and was out of it? No, but like you said, you could easily make that case where it was the beginning of the end, and his dad knew what was going to happen, so he just probably he's like, I'm gonna save my son some damage. There's nothing what I see that like he could kind of make a run or make a comeback, because like I feel like Crawford was controlling the distance. I felt like Porter was getting slower and Crawford was was getting faster with the timing and all that. So yeah, you could say that was the beginning of the end and all that, but you still have to not have Porter go out on a shield, but like he wasn't really that hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Where the dad saw like, nah, there's nothing my son could do to make that comeback or whatever, unless he catches him with a crazy right or something. But yeah, I mean Crawford showed he was a better fighter today. Take nothing from him. It was good.
Hey, Andrew, what is one or two things you saw from Crawford that you like, he needs to work on it, because if he fights Ugas or he fights Spence, he could really get in trouble. What are one thing you noticed like, oh man,
Look,
I wish yeah.
These guys watching the fight.
Huh?
Don't get me guys, these guys that you're mentioning, Ugas, all these guys, they're gonna watch this fight. They're studying.
Yeah.
Game first, inside game. How are you gonna be complete fighter? Work on that inside game. He's a long fighter. It's gonna be against him. He's one of the taller welterweights.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be you're gonna learn how. He's already great at finding his distance. Getting the right distance to get these punches. Once these fighters learn, they're gonna know that about him. They get inside. That's what he's gonna have to work on. Pushing him out. Maybe being a little more dirty. Just trying to act like a veteran with these guys. It's got to be tough.
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, there's some things I still need to see a little bit better. One thing that I say he needs to fix. I think he gave up some rounds in the beginning, right? That's one thing that versus these other guys. Hey man, if these guys, especially Ugas can box. If you give us some rounds in the beginning, he could probably outbox you, man. And he, Cubans, man, they don't care if the crowd's in it. They don't care, even though Ugas bangs, but Ugas can box the hell out of you. So I don't know. Maybe don't give up a little bit too many of the rounds in the beginning. I think that as for now, I gotta watch the fight again. We watched it once. There's a whole bunch of things. I gotta watch the fight like 3-4 times to really understand what I seen. But yeah, he was getting hit though. He got hit, and if it's someone else with power, dude, he could get hurt. He got hit with some clean shots. What about you, Jay? What are some things you think Crawford, you probably already said it, but what is something that you think Crawford needs to work on? Because he's fighting Spence. He's the top dog, one of the top dogs.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like I said, have a better kind of inside game. And like you said, like start faster too, right? Because you don't want to be giving up rounds to guys like Spence and Ugas, especially Ugas, just because, like I said, he's gonna need more of an inside game against Ugas, because that's where that's his bread and butter.
Yeah,
Ugas is long, just like Crawford. He has a length. He's not gonna have those length issues like Porter did. He's gonna be able to find the inside, not kind of panic, and he's not gonna panic and smother, but he is kind of that bully too, right?
Yeah.
If Crawford tries to do certain things with them, Ugas is gonna bring it right back. If it comes to like smacking on top of the head, pushing, those kind of theatrics, Ugas is all up for that. Yep. He's long, goes to the body consistently, wears you down, and keeps bringing that pressure. And he showed he does have a chin, right? Porter didn't really hurt Ugas in their fight at all, and neither did Pacquiao, right? Even though it was an older, kind of Pacquiao. But like if I'm Ugas and his trainer and his camp, and I'm seeing this fight with Crawford and Porter, I'm kind of like licking my chops. Like, you know what, dude? Like, we could beat this guy, especially from what we've seen today. I do want to kind of see this fight again, just to see, kind of have a better breakdown of it.
Yeah.
But I think stylistically, Ugas might be tougher for Crawford than Spence is.
Exactly.
Just because he does have like those dirty tactics too. And yeah, dude, like he has tricks, in the bag too. So like when it comes to experience and all that, like Ugas was in the ring with Pacquiao, so there's not much, not a lot of these welterweights to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think Ugas might be tougher for Crawford, but Spence, I mean too, like he has that reach. He's, what is he, 5'9", 5'10"?
Yeah.
So he's not gonna have those problems Porter had either, right? Where he's trying to reach from, get caught reaching, maybe get caught with a check hook or anything. He's more disciplined. The boxer too, and then we'll see like who gives in, right? It's gonna be a chess match.
Yeah.
Because Spence isn't gonna recklessly rush in. Who's gonna be the guy who catches the other guy, coming in, who gets impatient first?
Exactly.
Spence is pretty good with the reach, jab. He's patient too, so we'll see. Like it's gonna be a real chess match. Might not be action packed. It's definitely gonna have its moments, but that's definitely gonna be one of those where who's gonna make the mistake, right? Because
Yo, Andrew, yo. Oh shit. Mike Angelino Sports. We have technical difficulties here. Yo.
Yeah.
We just missed that last part.
What? Say it again.
A little bit of technical difficulties. Yeah, you talked about how Spence. You were saying something about Spence.
No, just because like I said, like Spence will be a tougher matchup too, just because he's not gonna move in recklessly like Porter did, right? Or try to smother him. It's gonna be a real chess match when it comes to like who's more patient.
Yeah.
Spence likes to work behind that jab 1-2. He's not gonna go in recklessly, and then Crawford's not gonna have as much as counter opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, is Crawford gonna be patient enough, or is he gonna be the aggressor? And how is it gonna work out? And then about Ugas.
Like you said before, this is like the first time he's in the spotlight, right? And you saw he has maybe, I don't know if he has composure problems, but he has some theatrics with Porter, like he can't be doing that with guys like Ugas and stuff. You got to keep your cool and shit. You got to know that. They got to tell him in his corner that like you got to be on it. You got to be disciplined, because these guys, they're looking to get you pissed, They're looking to get you off your game. This guy is all about being on his rhythm,
Yeah, and then let's keep it real too. Like Porter's a nice guy. Like he's not gonna be he's physical and all that, but he's not gonna be pushing you or hitting you behind the back. Well, he does kind of hit behind the back, but not intentionally. So he's not one of those guys who's gonna be like trying to show you up or whatever. Ugas is.
Yeah.
If like Crawford would have done some of that stuff with Ugas is gonna do it right back, and it's not even gonna phase him.
That's a great fight, bro. That's a great fight, man.
Yeah, that's a good fight, dude. It might be more action-packed than the Spence fight. That's what I'm saying. Just because Spence is kind of like that puncher boxer too. He's not going to take that many gambles either, right?
Exactly.
And I feel like Crawford might have to be the aggressor in that fight compared to against Porter, where he was just trying to waiting and countering him and waiting for Porter to make that mistake. Spence isn't going to do that. So, like I said, action-wise, like the bigger fight is Spence, but action-wise, like as a boxing fanatic, I think Ugas and Crawford is more intriguing in the fact that they're both long. Ugas could definitely fight in the inside. How would Crawford respond to that? And like I said, like Ugas could get 32, and like he'll make Crawford earn everything, and he has a chin. So either fight's good for me, dude. But like Ugas, like you said, I have him number 3, but he's a close number 3. It could be 2A and 2B with him and Spence.
Yeah.
So he's dope, dude.
I have Ugas number 2 from the eye test, not the record, not this. The eye test skills pay the bills, man. He's got skills, dude. He can bang, like I said. He goes backwards and everything. And Spence doesn't fight backwards. He's not good at fighting backwards. He goes to the body, dude. Dude, he gave Porter some shots to the body coming in. Like he timed them perfect, coming in with like a couple of body shots. Pacquiao, how he fought Pacquiao, it's just like this guy has the IQ, and he's similar to Crawford, man. Counterpuncher, he's disciplined. Hey, dude, man, I gotta really think about it and watch the tape. But Ugas is fire, dog. Man, he got a bad decision versus Porter. I think he beat Porter. Does he have the power? I gotta look at his record. I don't think he has the power as Bud Crawford. So Bud Crawford has the advantage of when it comes to power. So, but man, he has a great chin and he has skills, dude. Body shots, inside game, rope game, counter you, and he's very disciplined. The Cuban boxing, he could go back to his Cuban pedigree, and he won't give you anything. It'll become a chess match, and he'll slow it down. And does Crawford have the discipline to stay disciplined and not take gambles? We'll see. We've seen with Porter, Crawford slowed it down, and then you could tell Porter didn't have the discipline. That's why he jumped. It became a chess match, and then he jumped and he got caught. He slowed it down. So we're gonna see. I think it's a better. And I have Ugas number 2, Spence number 3, and I'm being nice with Spence. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no matter how you have it, like those are really the only like top 3 guys. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else you could throw in the mix. I mean, right now at the moment,
there's Virgil Ortiz. Virgil
Virgil
Ortiz, Boots Ennis, and my boy. No, your boy. What's my boy? The 40 pounder. Unified.
Josh Taylor.
He's gonna jump to 147. Let me just tell you this: there was a behind the scenes. He's big, way bigger than Crawford, dog. He's way bigger than Crawford. He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a legit like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, a real 5'10".
But yeah, and then when you talk about Ortiz and Ennis, those are guys that like,
still young.
Yeah, still young. You could see that match like 2 or 3 years down the road. But Josh Taylor, it could get interesting. If he jumps up to 147, and then like he beats like if he could fight I don't know, like kind of the gatekeeper at 147 to feel it out. And if he looks good, then that's another name you could throw in there, because I mean, he's pretty dope dude. He cleaned out 140.
Yeah. And
he beat my boy Ramirez. So yeah, dude. I mean, right now, like I said, at the moment, it's Crawford, Ugas, and Spence, in whichever order you want to have it. And then those are the fights that we want to see at the welterweight division. If Crawford is that guy, we'll see him fight Spence next and beat him, and then we'll see him fight Ugas and kind of clean it out. And then after that, then you can say, all right, like him and Canelo are like right there, neck and neck. So,
yeah.
But yeah, dude, like I said, Crawford, he's got the skills. Did what he had to do. Was it spectacular? No, but he did get that knockout. No one's knocked out Porter at 147, and then we know Porter's resume, right? Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, Ugas. He fought everyone at that division, and Crawford was the first one to knock him out. So that's an accomplishment right there. So, like I said, take nothing from him. But Crawford, he's a dude right now, 147. So hopefully we get those fights next, and we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, dude, that'll be beautiful if he cleans out the 147. Josh Taylor comes up and he faces off with Josh Taylor, he fights Ugas and Spence and whoever else, and he jumps. Now he's a big 147 pounder. He's 5'8", 5'9", long arms. Hey, he needs to jump to 154. He even said it. He wants to jump into 154. Was it cap because Canelo's doing it and he wants to be Canelo? He wants to emulate Canelo, be pound for pound. If he wants to be pound for pound, he needs to jump into 54. I don't know, and clean 54 up. Yeah.
I mean, or just jump to division since it's so easy, right? Because people talking shit about
160, right?
Oh yeah, you should go to 160 and fight Triple G. Like that's not. He'll cherry pick, but it's not that hard, right? Just weight classes. So
he's 40.
Yeah, so exactly. So like when Canelo beat Kovalev, it was an old Kovalev, so you should go to 160 and fight Triple G. Easy work. But but seriously, like I said, it was a good fight, dude. Yeah, like now it's time. Hopefully we get that Spence fight. That's like kind of like not a mega fight, but that's the fight everyone wants to see, like us hardcore boxing fans. It should have happened already, but we'll see. Politicking and boxing kills the sport sometimes. I think now we're gonna get it because he's a free agent now, so pretty much. And then, like I said, they already kind of threw that little metaphor of PBC on Twitter, and they put both of them, kind of seeing like who you guys want to fight next, or who do you want to see them fight next. So they're starting to, kind of throw that message out there. So we'll see. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, man. Like I said, man, I don't want to take nothing away from Crawford. Yeah, it was a little early to stop it. He Porter, man, he deserves to go out on the shield, man. He's a warrior, but his pops, I don't know. Maybe is he gonna fire his pops? Only time will tell, and we'll see, because he didn't look his body language didn't look happy, man, with his pops saying what he said and doing what he did. So yeah, so before I wrap it up, Andrew, anything you want to say before I wrap it up?
Well, in conclusion, man, I just want to see. I want to see Terrence Crawford go up, man. I want to see him fight other people. I don't think there's anyone after Earl Spence, after Ugas. I want to see him do something. I want to see him. You know, Canelo's doing all these things. This also adds to the factor of pound for pound, man. After he clears out the division, I want to see him do something else. I want to see him seek new challenges. You know, what else is there to do? Canelo clears out the division. Now he's going up to cruiserweight. These are all factors to this pound for poundness, to legacy. You know, look at the legacy of Alvarez. What is he doing for Mexico, for his country? What is Terrence Crawford doing for his country? You know, like, take these into account. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like the opponents that he's facing. You know, like, this is the first time he's in the spotlight. Let's not get carried away. He's got to be doing this. Canelo does this every day. He's born. It's second nature now, doing these championship fights. Maybe I gotta see him do it more. You know, I gotta see Terrence Crawford keep doing it.
Yeah,
but he's great.
Exactly. He's not number one pound for pound. ESPN. Who was saying it was pound for pound? ESPN. What's it? Bradley. And all of them clowns. He's not pound for pound number one, dude. Are you seriously kidding me? He's not pound for pound. Nah, he's like number 3, number 4, man. Stop. They're lying because they work for ESPN and they're being biased. Canelo's pound for pound, the face of boxing. I'm gonna put Canelo with Pacquiao and Sugar Ray Robinson. Watch. Let him. This guy's special, man. Anything else, Jay? Before I close it off, man. Anything else you want to say?
No, dude. Like, it's a pretty good time to be a boxing fan right now. Like, the fights have been getting. Last week, Munguia Rosado, action-packed fight. You know, it wasn't a huge fight. Casuals, they might have known, but if you're a hardcore boxing fan, we were definitely looking forward to that one. And it delivered. Canelo making history 2 weeks ago. Next week, you know, Teal, he's up and coming, like, not up and coming, but like, this, you know, his upcoming fight. He's been out for a while, so it's kind of good to see him back. And then Haney versus my boy, what's his name? From Golden Boy, Joseph. So, I mean, we have good fights coming up, and then, like I said, next year, hopefully, like, let's get that momentum going. You know, Canelo's gonna go up to weight, see how he does. A lot of people were talking shit, but at the end of the day, you know, there's weight classes for a reason. Mm-hmm. So it's a calculated risk. I'm gonna put it like that. And we could get Spence versus Crawford at the beginning of 2022 and keep that momentum building. You know, boxing, and it's going good right now. So, but like another, you know, big fight, it delivered, and yeah, dude, nothing to complain about, dude. Like, we're getting better fights. So hopefully that carries on to next year.
Oh yeah, man. Boxing 2021 boxing was beautiful, man. And I think 22, the momentum's gonna take us to 2022. So yeah, boxing's promising. Boxing's back. Canelo's got boxing in his back. So man, we still have a lot of years of Canelo and a lot of years of great boxing. He's setting the standard, and you're seeing guys trying to move up, and you're seeing guys talking about moving up. So he's setting the standard for all these guys. So yeah. So yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap it up. Andrew, we'll catch you. I'm gonna put the description of your Instagram. Anybody wants to interview you, anybody wants to talk boxing with you, they'll hit you up. I'm gonna put the description. Jay, I'm gonna put the description in the description box. And you have a podcast, right, Jay?
Yeah, bro. Couch Talk Sports. Like I said, we're still doing things. It's been a little slow recently, but we're gonna get back at it.
Like a smack addict. And I got Andrew. He's gonna be working with Mike Angelino Sports. He's working with me. And man, sky's the limit. So yeah, we're outros. Mike Angelino Sports, man. That's all I got.